Okay, so I have the first item. I just want to make a very quick clarification if I caused any confusion last week. So about the contribute, there is a per head dollar amount for the team fund budget. So that you can expense anytime during the contribute. And if you plan team activity before the contribute or after the contribute, ask the contribute 2020 channel for the expense coverage. Uh, there is there will be some limitations there, and especially post the contribute. So the important days are the arrival day and the departure day. So that's the official start and end of the contribute. So figure out that from the contribute 2020. And any question, just ask in the channel. They are very, very helpful. So yeah, that's my topic. And I will step out to another meeting if no more questions. Okay, I'm done. Thank you very much, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good night.
Thanks, Chun. Yeah, so I have the next item, which is a follow-up to what Chun was talking about with Contribute 2020. So I've got ahead and created an issue in our team task board for us to discuss our Contribute 2020 plans and schedules. So there's nothing in the issue right now. I did make it confidential, and I'll write in a little placeholder and ping everybody on it. But I figured, yeah, we should make it confidential just between all of us, since we'll be discussing travel schedules and that sort of thing. Any comments, questions about that? All right. I just want to throw out a reminder that the team member engagement survey is due, and it looks like they just extended the deadline to November 4th. So if people haven't filled it out yet, I filled it out last week. It's pretty painless. Yeah, definitely encourage everyone to do that. Sorry, what was that?
I'm just done with that.
Awesome. And I have the next general announcement. I just wanted to thank everyone for your input on our OKRs. So I've linked to both of them. I also linked to the development department board, and that's where you can get an overview of all of the OKRs for the sub departments. So you can check out the enablement OKRs and ones for other teams and kind of see what they all have planned for next quarter. And this is something that y'all might know this, but I just found it out in this process, is that our fiscal year begins in February and not January. So I was like, why is everyone talking about Q4 OKRs just now? Like, shouldn't that be done in October? And it turns out that since the fiscal year starts in February, the fourth quarter would then be like November through January. So people probably already knew that, but it was news to me, so thought I'd mention that as well.
I just learned about it like just now.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I think we use different acronyms, right? With F is financials, I guess, and quarter is like a normal year, but I'm not sure this is not also familiar to me. You know, it works that way. That's the reason why we have the starting with F for financial year, and if it's Q, I guess it's the normal year.
Okay, I didn't know there was a difference there, but yeah, I see everyone kind of use the FY before things, so seems like what everybody people are generally on the same page about that. But yeah, there's got to be some resource in the handbook about that. I'll try to dig it up just so that we're all on the same page there. Awesome. All right, that's it for announcements discussion. Looks like I only had one thing to put on the work items. We're working on a lot of security types of issues right now, so they're all confidential and we can't really talk about them here, but there is one epic to follow that I linked to that's currently blocking something that Arturo is working on. So I think it's a good one for all of us to follow, because I'm guessing that whatever sort of conventions are decided there are how we'll want to implement these sorts of application limits. So I think that's okay to say. The epic, I believe, is publicly viewable. So that's what it's about, is how we go about setting various limits in the application. All right, that's it for agenda items. Anyone have anything else they wanted to discuss?
I don't have any discussion points, but I will say thanks for all of the great conversations that y'all have been engaging with in the issues. I think it's been really good. I've been really happy to have more people to talk to about these issues. So that's been cool. I'm like currently under this like deluge of email and issues and all sorts of stuff. So if there's anything that I haven't followed up on, or you have outstanding questions, please feel free to ping me and remind me. There's just so many moving pieces. So if I drop something, I mean, that's not great, but like it's something that I'm aware is happening. So just please let me know if there's anything. You're not going to offend me if you go, hey, answer this. That's it.
Well, yeah, I feel like you've been staying on top of things pretty well. So you had me fooled.
Great. At least there's one person. Hey, and Justin, just since we have some time and we're sitting here, does the usage ping stuff make sense now?
Yeah, sure. I think it's pretty much ready to pick up.
Okay,
finally. Cool.
Yeah, and I don't like as much as I deeply hate duplicating data. At the same time, like it's so hard to consume today. Like we can't, like, especially if we want to go in and add, what we've got 3 integrations tracked there today, and we want to add basically 22, right, to support the rest of the integrations. Like it's just it has to have a sensible common home. And actually, I just added an issue as well for adding usage ping to the plugins interface, which I know is kind of a weird one that most people aren't aware exists. So that's something to look at as well. So I don't know how that one's going to work. That one's going to be a little more tricky because it's not stored in the database. It's a system hook that fires every time an event is called and like checks to see what available files are there. So that one will be a little bit different. So it's a separate issue. Anyway,
Okay, sure.
Cool.
So I'll probably pick that up next.
Yeah, I just put it for like next 3 to 4 releases. That's just somewhere down the road soon.
No, I was saying about the usage ping, about the project.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Cool.
I had a look at the Mattermost, but I have no idea what Mattermost is.
Mattermost is a self-hosted chat. Mattermost ships with GitLab. If the idea being that you can, I don't know how it's set up, but it is part of the Omnibus distribution, so you can enable it really easily. So my assumption is, and that's the chat server, right? Is
it's a kind of open source Slack.
Yes,
yeah, I saw it looks like Slack.
Yeah, it looks very much like Slack. It is an open source Slack. Although that's probably unfair, but it's a good analogy. How about that? We'll put it that way. But yeah, so it ships with our Omnibus installation. It's really easy to set up while you're installing Omnibus. So my assumption is that data is whether or not that service is enabled, not how many projects have the notifications integrated.
So we have because this iteration we have a lot of confidential issues. We have a Hordur that is working in other confidential issues, and he set up like different services fixing the issues, and maybe we can try to compile in a document or somewhere, like, how to access to the different services or how to set up locally. For example, we already know about the Jira instance that we have, but maybe we have, I don't know, more services that in somewhere we have an instance or we have something working, and other people know about that, and try to compile everything, for us and then for new starters.
Yeah, I don't know where the yes, we should, if there are other lab services that you need set up, absolutely just open an issue and we can get that created for you to mess with. I don't know, Nick and I talked about this a while back, where the appropriate place to store all that lab info is. Because there was kind of a debate around whether, like, maybe it just belongs in 1Password. Like, we could set up a 1Password group and then have all of that info stored there, because it is potentially confidential information. But I don't know. So great. Let me know how I can help. I don't necessarily have an opinion on where that needs to be stored. That's probably something for our IT ops. But yeah, if there is access to labs though that you need, let's get it going.
Mm-hmm. I think there are two sides of it, right? Like, one side is actually what's the workflow if you want to test integration with one service. Like what let's say you have a Jira instance, right? Like, how do you connect it, or like how you do it on development. And the other side of it is the confidential side, which is like, what are the actual credentials, what's the URL of this instance. So I think once the side is like, in terms of workflow, it can probably go into the doc or something. But the other side will probably go into, I think, 1Password, probably the best place.
Yeah, and we can set up a private group in 1Password for ecosystem or whoever else needs it. But we can set up a private group and then just store whatever credentials in there. So.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
I just copy in the document the issue that I was referring, because he set up like at least four integrations. So probably if I need to set up Mattermost, I'm going to ask him the first person,
Okay. I think I'll need that document as well, because like I have one of the Jira stories as well to test the comments, disabling comments.
Oh, and I know we had talked about it a while back about the duplicated Jira instances. It's actually kind of interesting because the existing one, the one that's currently at that Brendan O'Leary administers, is on Atlassian Cloud. And then the one we have set up for this team is actually self-hosted. So we actually probably do need both, because those are two completely separate products. Or at least they have their own needs. So for what it's worth. Also, I'm not too worried about it because we're on like a tiny plan. So it's a whopping $10 a year or whatever. Not too worried about it. Cool. What else we got going on? What's new with everybody? How are you feeling? Are you settling in, Justin?
Yeah, I'm quite comfortable. Like, most of the stuff set up.
Nice. Well, Nick, we've somehow stumbled into a great team that is apparently able to onboard instantly with no problems.
I wish I could say I had something to do with that, but I think y'all are just awesome.
Thanks, Sean, for finding awesome people.
Yes.
Cool. Oh, and we have another. We have someone joining us next week, right? Or is it week after next?
Week after next, November 1st, I believe.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Person number 3.
Person number 3 to be revealed at a future meeting.
It's Friday, November 1st, right?
Oh, okay. So maybe it's the 4th. I have to double check. I received an onboarding a ping on an onboarding issue that said November 1st, but maybe the date is wrong there.
I'm also okay with starting on a Friday. That seems cool. Well, cool. Well, that's exciting. And then we've got, I don't want to like discuss it directly here because I think Nick's probably going to put this on YouTube, but y'all are welcome. I have a number of issues right now about headcount planning that are in various places. I'd be happy to talk more about that, but I'm super excited. I have gone through the headcount numbers that have been projected, have been now reviewed by someone from research and from tech writing and from UX and of course from engineering. Thanks, Nick. And so all of the individual parties have kind of signed off on it. Well, tentatively, I guess the tech writing, I take that back a little bit in case Mike sees this. Tech writing has looked at it and is currently reviewing it. But it sounds like it's going to be up to our managers and our leadership to decide whether or not we execute against that plan. But it does sound like we've got pretty good buy-in broadly on what that is. So we should be expecting some amount of growth for next year. So that's pretty exciting. It won't just be us.
Make the OKR about like interviewers like more important now.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I don't think it's going to be right because it's going to be for next year, for fiscal year 21. So it'll be a little bit ways out. But yes, I would definitely say y'all need to make sure to go through interview training here in the next couple months. There's going to be a lot of that in the first half of next year, at least. So yeah, make sure that gets done sometime before January. No rush. I mean, and also this is next call, but. No rush, but sometime in the next few months for sure.
Yeah, that's about the schedule we're looking at. So yeah, well that is exciting news. Good things ahead for the ecosystem team.
For sure. Oh, and we also got I guess I should have mentioned this and I'll paste a link. We also got the integrations category vision page is finally live, which is pretty cool. It's been a long time coming. I'll paste it in the doc. Here you go. So there it is. If you have any more feedback, I know Nick and I worked a ton on it, but please send me feedback, open issues if you have a problem with it. If there's anything you'd like to see added, changed, matured, you catch typos, whatever, please. I know it's been called out a number of times recently and in various different places, but these category vision pages are maintained by the product manager, but that does not mean that we're not interested in input and feedback from everybody. Everyone can contribute. So if there is something you would like to see added to our vision, please open an MR, please send it over. I'd love to get your ideas and thoughts into it as well. So don't ever feel like you're not welcome to edit that page. Like everything else in the company, you are welcome to edit that page. That's it. Oh, and I do have, I guess while I'm at it, I've got an open MR for the API SDK one as well. So I'll add that in there if anyone would like to put in some feedback.
Awesome. And I have to actually get going now, get ready for an interview. So I'm going to stop the recording unless anyone has any final parting words. All right.